Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Please like and subscribe. We're going to talk about what happens at the end of a relationship with a narcissist. A lot of times they'll start to manipulate you, kind of brainwash you into thinking things were your fault or you're not suitable to be with anybody better than them. They kind of put you down, and they do that to manipulate you. They might tell you you're a drama queen, drama king, or just overly sensitive. They'll start to tear away at you. And they'll start looking for a new supply. Often they'll have a kind of like a backup plan where they already have that person lined up. They usually don't go into new relationships unless they've already prepared a new supply. Sometimes it seems like there's some downtime, but usually they're already grooming the other person, and that relationship will end up going through the same cycle that you guys went through. And they'll just start to lower the value of the person. So they're kind of tearing at our egos. Sometimes they try to destroy the relationship so much, getting us to leave, or they'll just up and leave. They don't like to take accountability, so they'll often turn it around and tell the flying monkeys, everybody in their associates, whether it's your family, their family, friends, coworkers, just about anybody. They'll just try to discount you. And narcissists usually like to have friends with benefits. They can be in marriages. They're just not healthy relationships. Sometimes they can have long-term relationships, and that's due to the trauma bonding, not necessarily the quality of the relationship. They do that love bombing. They create this false security for us, and then they'll like take it away and breadcrumb us, getting us trauma bonded. And they'll just all of a sudden discard you if they see something else easier, or think that the grass is greener on the other side. But it makes it really a nightmare to break up with them. They can block you, not let you get closure. They definitely can start abusing you. So be really cautious. If you need to have cops help you leave, if you need some strong bodyguard type people, because they sometimes are violent. So know your narcissist and how they'll react. They might throw a little temper tantrum, or they might get real violent, or they could just give you the silent treatment. It really does depend on how your narcissist is. A lot of times that's a trigger for them, and they just want the control. It's not even necessarily that they want you, it's that they don't want to lose what they feel entitled to. So they might feel entitled to a spouse. Doesn't mean that they necessarily even like the spouse. They don't want to miss out on maybe help with the bills. So they'll start focusing on finances instead of whether they should stay with you or not. And they'll get us to feel guilty. Sometimes it's a control type thing. So if we're breaking up with them, they're going to turn it around, do a little pity party. And if they're discarding us, it's often really, really cold. They'll block you, but they will do smear campaigns, and just to get people on their side, because they don't like to take accountability. So they don't want to take accountability. They don't want anybody else looking at them in a different light, like maybe they messed up, because they're just too afraid to admit their shortcomings. And they'll often show a lot of different emotions during this time. And sometimes, they might try to shower you with gifts to get you back. They can be really abusive, physically or verbally. It's going to be like they're grasping at straws. They don't know exactly how to handle it, and so they just act like like, I don't know, like a 15-year-old who just broke up with the love of their life, throwing little fits or yelling. And so unfortunately, this like relationship just didn't give him the type of supply that he wanted. He had or she wanted. They have to have things set up the way that they want. And if we start calling them out on things or taking up too much of their time, it's just not fulfilling them. And they can just instantly discard somebody. So it can be really painful. And, sometimes they might reflect back and try to hoover again. Um, Sometimes they just want to destroy your life. They don't want you happy. So they can continue to troll or stalk. So they can be quite scary sometimes because they don't have the impulse control. And that's where you have to be cautious, because if they don't have the impulse control, they're unpredictable and they lie. So, even if they're like, I'm not going to hurt you, if something goes wrong, they can definitely still do it, even no matter what they promise you or say. It's too hard to believe. And unfortunately, it was so sweet in the beginning, and it just starts turning colder and colder and colder. And it's really sad how they just move on to new relationships. And it's kind of like uh, when they're going through the way that they start to discard, it's going to be a painful breakup. It's usually not a nice, kind, warm, talk through it, give each other, a nice little loving hug. And if they do say, I wish you well, it's like sarcastic. They don't really mean it. They'll play mind games. They'll continue to do that. And they'll try to get revenge sometimes. It just definitely depends on who did the leaving. But sometimes they push us to leave. And that's in a sense their discard, but they made it so miserable. And I had done a video where it's hard to believe that the narcissists are so afraid of how other people will see them as the failure in the relationship, that they'll wait until we can't take it anymore. And then, if we're strong enough, we'll leave. And a lot of times it gets that bad, because we're loving them and wanting things to get better. And just, there's times it's just like, this is hopeless. It unfortunately never gets back to that true love bombing stage, because they just don't uphold their promises. So at the end of the relationship, they they can do some crazy things. They might text you like crazy, trying to win you back, or call incessantly, and give false promises that they'll change. And they just can't be trusted. They know how to have a true relationship, because they've done those things for us. They've given us the right kind of relationship during the love bombing. They maybe a Valentine's Day, they were really sweet. They know how to do certain things to show love, but they don't feel it, so they don't do it all the time. And then they also change over time. So if you're looking to heal, it's good to go no contact. They will try to hoover. If some of you are wondering why you haven't been hoovered, it just depends on the narcissist and the type of supply that they're getting. Are they getting it from somewhere else? When they're low on supply, they'll probably come back. Or did you take a stand and they know they can't control you anymore? So they are unpredictable, but they definitely do have patterns. They have red flags. It's just so sad how many lives are destroyed by narcissists. You know, it's growing in society, and that's making it even more difficult, because we're trying to figure out who is normal in this world. And with the growing population of narcissists, it's almost like that's going to be the new norm. And that gets really scary, because the damage is just trickling down through generation after generation. And it's it's going to be a crazy society when like an empathetic person and a narcissist, you at least have one person who's truly kind of trying. um but if you have two narcissists where it's all about themselves, that's going to be a very toxic situation, can turn violent, heated, more so. And if that's the society that we end up with, it's not going to be good. So do your best to heal yourself, to move forward, to get out of the situation. Whether you have kids, sometimes staying in a marriage isn't always the best thing. I know some of you have like religious beliefs, and um, I don't think God wants you to stay in a toxic relationship. God uh, set that up to work through things, not to give up on each other. But if it's toxic and it's not going to get better and it's only going to damage more and more people, um, that's for you to do some soul searching on. But uh, the discard can happen at the drop of a hat, and it can be violent sometimes. So definitely take care of yourself. Be prepared that, they might blow your phone up. They might be demanding. They might start calling you names, or they might be sugar sweet to where they're going to try to love bomb again. So it's unpredictable, and it'll vary day by day. There might be one day after the discard saying nice things to you, and then the next day, or even in sometimes it can be as quick as instantly. They could say, I love you, I really want to work it out, and you're like, no, we can't do it. And then they'll be like, well, you're a bitch for, and it's like, you were just saying how much you love me, and within one sentence where I take a stand, all of a sudden they devalue you. Because that's their go-to. It's easier to devalue someone than to care about them. If they're trying and they don't get their way, instantly they're angry at you. They don't like you anymore. It's just like if you've ever seen those little kids where they tell their parents, they're like, I hate you, or I'm not going to be your best friend anymore. Little things like that. It's just the childlike state that they're in. So please stay safe during this time. No contact is the quickest way to heal, and also the safest for you. So I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day.